We are back with another banger. All right, so this video today is about me becoming a hairstylist, why I became a hairstylist. So don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned. Okay, so me becoming a hairstylist. Let me tell y'all, let me give y'all some backstory. Let me back it up and tell y'all really started, how I started even doing hair, period, at all. Let me tell you, I was 12 years old. Yeah, I'm taking it all the way back. I was 12 years old. My mama was doing all that pulling, snatching, getting all my naps out. I was like, that's it, it's done. I'm doing my own hair. I don't want you to touch it at all. She was like, okay, fine then, you do your own hair. I started doing my own hair. My mom would every summer, you know, or throughout the year, she would pay for me to go to somebody to get my hair braided. About time I was probably let me think, 13, maybe almost 14 years old. I wasn't quite in high school yet, but when I was like 13, I was like, ooh, my braids looking kind of loose. They need to be touched up. Like, what am I about to do? What am I about to do? Like, my mom was not about to pay for somebody to just touch up my braids, and I'm over here looking like, who did what and why you got all this new growth? So look, I took out one braid. I knew how to braid, but I didn't know how to attach the extension, the braiding hair or whatever onto my hair. Literally, I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. Looked at, you know, my hairstylist when she would be braiding my hair, like in the mirror. I would kind of look and be like, how is she doing that? Let me try to look at what she's doing. And FYI, the hairstylist that used to braid my hair back in the day, her salon was the first salon I worked in. So keep all your networking connections, okay, y'all? So let me tell you, I would look at everybody who gets their hair braided. My sisters, me at the salon. I'm gonna try to figure this out. Took out a braid and was practicing over and over and over and over. Ended up being able to braid the first 2 rows of my own head. So I thought I was the I thought I was the shit, y'all. Okay, let me tell you. I then was like, okay, look, the back of this neck is looking kind of thick too. Let me try to figure that out. Took one braid out at a time. I had to maneuver my hands in the back of my head in a certain way to kind of learn that method too. It looked a little sloppy, but I was getting it one braid at a time. I had to learn how to do it tighter and tighter as I went through. Eventually, I was able to do my whole head perimeter, my touch-up. I was able to do that myself. Then there came a point where I was like, look, these braids need to get done. And my mom was like, I'm not paying for you to get your hair braided anytime soon. So eventually I had to figure out how to braid my whole head by myself. Started little by little. I got my mom to buy some braiding hair. She was willing to buy that if I was gonna do it myself. So I got my mom to get some braided hair for me, and I figured it out. I started with my edges. I left my middle. Everybody did that back in the day. Leave your middle in some cornrows or something and braid all your edges and stuff up. That way, if you put it into a ponytail or a bun, nobody would even know that it wasn't braided. That's where I started. When I wasn't able to braid fast enough to finish my whole head, I started doing that. So I did that for a while until eventually, of course, I was able to braid my whole head. That's where I went wrong though. That's where I went wrong. Then my mom was like, oh, since you braiding and stuff, you can do your sister's hair too. I have 2 younger sisters, you guys, okay? Then I had to braid their hair every time they needed their hair braided. So my mom, she cut that expense totally out. She did not have to get my hair braided, my sister's hair braided at all, because she knew I was there to do it. But anyway, so I practiced on them, and you know, I got that right, did everything good. Then I started doing my friends. I had friends that lived on the same street as me. I started braiding their hair up. I started braiding, you know, everybody hair up. Then I was like, you know what, y'all about to pay me for this. I'm not about to do this stuff for free no more. Like, y'all gonna have to pay me a little something. I was charging basically nothing. I was young. I was charging like nothing. By the time I was in high school, started to do like glued in tracks. Started to work on my cornrows so I can get these weaves down. Because once you learn how to braid, the weaving is easy. Once you can get your braid pattern together, weaving is simple, easy. It makes it so much easier. So once I got that down, I started to do weaves. And then after that, I was like, look, I want to take care of my hair a little bit easier. So I started making glued wigs on a little styrofoam head first with those little wig cap, glue the hair on. The doobie, let me tell, who didn't wear the doobie back in the day? Who didn't wear the doobie that came with the hair already kind of bumped at the ends and it came with a closure at the top? I wore so many of those little wigs. I glued so many of those in my head. Let me tell y'all, I did everything. Glue, sewn, wigs, weaves, braids, just all of it. All of it. I did it all. I had a relaxer, I had color, I had everything in my hair. I loved playing with everything that had to do with my hair. And that's pretty much where I started. I just loved it. I didn't even think about turning that into a business or something that I could really make good money from. So that's where I started. Practiced on my sister's hair, my best friend's hair, my cousins, my auntie, my grandma, my mom. I did her hair a few times. She was in a professional industry, so I had to pick and choose what styles I was gonna kind of do on her, but I practiced on her hair too. Practice makes perfect. Take anybody's head. I did people's hair for free just to build my knowledge and get practice and everything that I learned. I did all these things for free or cheap or little to nothing before I really started making money off of it because I wanted to learn. But this was not the industry I even started with. I started going to school. I did start going to school for business when I eventually went to college. I did go to school for business and it worked out. I knew I wanted to own my own business. I didn't know what. Maybe I wanted to manage somebody else's business. My first job was at the movie theater, AMC movie theater was my first job when I was in high school. And literally when I thought that was it. Okay, look, I'm gonna build my career in this. No, I didn't. I was ready to go. I think I left that job and I didn't even put in no 2 weeks or nothing. I just stopped going. Y'all, look, I did not know nothing about having a job back then. So that was my first job and I went into retail. After that, became supervisors and manager in retail, and that's not even where I ended up. So y'all know I love me some hair because I left all of that and I could not go back, and I kept going back to doing hair. I never stopped doing hair in between all of those jobs that I've had. Never stopped. So after all of that, I finally decided, no, it wasn't even me that decided. My husband now, my boo, when he was my boyfriend, he told me, he was like, why don't you go to school for hair? And I was like, what? You can do that? Like, you can make money for real? Like, nah. I can go to school, cosmetology school? Really? He was like, yes, you could. He was in school for nursing and he was like, you can do it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna check it out. Went to check it out, was like, yeah, I can do this. Like, this is cool. This looks so much fun. So I eventually went to cosmetology school when I was 21. I was 21 when I went to cosmetology school. Loved it. Graduated. My boyfriend, husband now, was right there next to me through everything that I, had to learn in cosmetology school. And he was the best support ever through everything, along with my parents and stuff who I was still living with at 21, but he was a really good support. So after that, before I even graduated from cosmetology school, I went to an interview at the first salon I ever worked at. The lady who braided my hair, Nisha Hair Diva, look her up. She still does hair right now. She was my first interview out of cosmetology school, and she was so happy to see me. She was so excited that I was in the industry now, and she was like, you know what? Come in, do a weave, get somebody, do a weave on them, and I'll see how you are. And she hired me. She was like, yes, you can come work in my salon, commission. She would build my talent. She would teach me everything that she knew and all of that. And I learned so much from her. I still talk to her to this day because she has done so much for me and inspired me to keep building on what I wanted to specialize in, which you guys know is wig, and I love them to death. That is definitely me. me and my brand. So thank you, Nisha. Okay, so another thing I had to learn. I had my first child at 23. I was only 2 years in the industry and I already had a child that I needed to take care of, and I couldn't work, not with no baby, and I wasn't paying for no child care. No thank you. That was way too much money. So eventually I had to start working from home, you guys. Okay, I worked from home for years, off and on. I would work from home when I had to be home, and then eventually I went back to working at, you know, Nisha's salon, and then I had another baby a year later, back to back. Yeah, I know. Then I went back working from home. Look, I had clients stay with me through all of this drama. Okay, so after I had my second child, went back to working at the salon, and I went back to working retail as well, because I had to pay for all these bills, all these kids I was having. Then while I was doing the salon and I was doing retail and I was taking care of 2 babies, my ass then got pregnant again. Look, okay, look. Me and my husband was busy for like 3 years straight. Okay, so had another child. That's when I was like, okay, look, something gonna have to go. I got 3 kids, under 2. Like it was a mess. I had a newborn, I had a baby that was 1, and then my daughter was 2. I was like, look, this is too much. So then I was working from home, strictly working from home, for about 2 years. I would travel and do clients' hair, and then I would work from home. And then my husband was the one to push me into getting my own salon suite. I was so hesitant on getting it, only because I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to fail at having my own business or my own salon suite. And honestly, my salon suite and my business has been thriving since day 1. It's only been getting better. Like I'm happier than I've ever been before. So that's where I started. How I became a hairstylist. I could not keep my hands out of hair. I love to learn all the new trends. I love to do it all. Anything involving hair, I was happy. When you find something that you love and you want to do forever, it doesn't even feel like work. It feels like just another day. You living and doing what you want to do, another day. You just so happen to be able to make money off of it. So that's where I started. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learning some more about me and where I started and my business started and who inspired me to keep going and doing everything that I'm doing now. You can thank my husband for a lot of it, which is probably why he's my husband now, because he has never led me in the wrong direction. He has always been there and he always will be. And you know, I wouldn't even be here doing any of this without him. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any comments or concerns or anything like that, please put them down below. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. If you want to see more videos like this one about me, my family, or my business, please let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.